I want to kind of look at this as a consultation question straight up.
Happy to do it.
We've been at this for 10 months. We're of the impression our production definitely is top notch. That's just a factual thing.
Yep.
Then we're of the belief that we have the sauce. Our following is a very, very loyal following. But at the end of the day, we have been stuck at 12,000 Orthodox Jewish followers, and we've had on a lot of, it's not exactly what I'm trying to do, but like within the community, like
it's
people
rolling.
love us. Yeah. Like we were just in Israel over the holidays.
Yep.
And like kids in the street.
Felt it.
Yeah, for sure. And but at the end of the day, we're just like we've had on some very notable names, but we're not breaking out of the Jewish, like the regular Jewish community. And that's really what I'm looking for right now. And that's literally what I'm up against. And I think that probably applies.
How are you trying to?
So given how saturated the market is obviously with content right now, I felt that good production would be an easy controllable factor in order to move us, like kind of bring us more eyes quicker and just jump out to the subconscious while these guys are legitimate. We put out a pod every single week, consistently 52 weeks plus at this point in a row. We are putting out clips every single week on our social media pages.
How much?
One a day.
On all social media?
At least one a day.
On one per platform?
Yes.
Same clip?
Same clip. So we have
same copy, same clip?
7 to 9 posts a week, and we post
that is disproportionately the first place to focus on.
Okay.
You know, the reality is organic social is now foundational to awareness, especially with the way the algorithms are going. You genuinely actually are one TikTok clip away from quadrupling your audience, though that's much harder than it was 36 months ago, but it's not impossible. So if you're making a clip for social, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable spot because you're not making the clip for the distribution. So you can imagine, given the community and me knowing a little bit about it, if you're speaking to a room full of people in Brooklyn, in the community, that might be a different speech than if you went to Babson and spoke to the students at Babson about entrepreneurship. It would be different. Mm-hmm. You would use less Yiddish words, you would have different references, it would be contextual. The fact that you're taking a single clip and then posting that on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, I gotta find out from you which ones, but immediately, as you can imagine, a heavily, Hasidic, joked out, referenced out talk in Alabama at a Walmart isn't gonna land the same way. And by taking a clip and posting the same thing on Twitter that you're posting on Instagram, they won't land the same way. So the biggest mistake people make in social is they look at it as purely distribution and they just wanna put something out on it and they want it to go out. When in reality, understanding best practices creatively and analytically per platform is imperative for you to break out.
Got it.
If you want to win TikTok, for example, you have to respect TikTok. Just like you being part of this community, you know when people come from the outside and try to sell the community, you're laughing already. It's impossible if they're not respectful to the context or the tone.
So you're saying diversify what we're putting out, tailor make it to each audience.
Ready for this? This production is incredible. I would mail this in return if I could get you to give this level of financial vigor and emphasis on what time you post, what the copy is, where you post, and upping your output across the 7 platforms that matter. I'm about this life, this is amazing, but this is wildly, enormously secondary for you to get awareness to proper social media strategy around the creative per platform.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So my only question, so first of all, a lot
That's
of stuff.
one thing. Yeah. Another thing is live. I'm devastated that I'm too busy to be a streamer. I'm gonna say that nice and slow for Dustin.
What?
I am devastated that I am too busy to be a streamer. I have told the story over and over of Twitter and YouTube being the foundation of the GaryVee brand, which is absolutely true. That 2006 to 2010 moment was real. I had actually forgotten that the 6 or 9 months that I was really flirting somewhat aggressively, not as consistent as Twitter and YouTube, with Ustream, which in essence is Twitch and Kick and TikTok Live right now, I forgot how big that was. I believe that if I had time and wasn't actually running businesses and was actually doing the GaryVee thing that I think most people think I do for a living,
Right.
I would probably stream for 12 hours a day.
Oh, really?
I would. And so the other thing to think about is your live strategy. You know, I think the depths that come along with audience engagement in live and streaming is profound. You're much more interactive. No longer are they consuming,
They feel like they're part of it. It's more social relationship.
You sound like also you're making a big distinction between live and vlogging, right? Those two totally separate things.
Vlogging is episodic, was huge for me.
Daily interactive.
Definitely another, you know, there'll be a time where I get a little older and I'll sum it all up and I'll talk about the chapters of growth. DailyVee will be in there. It's huge for me. No, I'm talking about streaming and live.
Got it. So one last thing on this topic is, so we have been very focused on putting out content that is not just orthodox based, like that's applicable to the whole world.
Of course, if you want to go broad.
Right, but it sounds like what you're saying is that we have to respect the individual platforms. That's one,
Correct.
if I'm getting that correctly. And also
the slang, right? Like all of us are gonna act differently in this room than we would act if we all met up for a business meeting at Tao at midnight.
Right.
There's a different, slightly different version of us. That's how these platforms are. The words, the slang, even the content you make, things that are trending, things that are in the know. TikTok's a little bit younger than Instagram. Facebook's a little older than Instagram. All three of those need slightly different things. You know, even within the Hasidic community, what you're posting on Facebook should be really crushing for the 70-year-old Yentas more so than the 16-year-old you guys coming up.
Do you think we should, but it's trying to get everyone not as, would you say the niche, like, I always hear keep your audience as niche as possible.
Your opening question was to broaden your audience.
No, but I'm saying outside, like our main focus is 18 to 35, you know, just in the world.
Well, good. I mean, that's an old television thing, right? You guys are all in this pocket. 18 and 35 are like two different human beings.
Yeah.
Right.
Different slang, different interests.
They don't talk to each other anymore.
Yeah, so I think the biggest obvious thing that will help you dramatically is if you reverse it. I believe what's happening between production value and this show is that you're putting an enormous amount of emphasis to this, which I love. It's important. But you're viewing, like most people, you're viewing social as a distribution instead of like an actual place to like really cultivate. It's you're like using like email, press send, get out there, find us. Yeah. Instead of like really understanding how to do that super well. I think 2 to 3 posts a day on all the platforms. Facebook's a monster. People continue to underestimate it. Then there's Facebook in-feed, then there's Facebook Reels. There's Instagram in-feed, there's Instagram Reels, there's Instagram Stories. Right. Like there's so much.
How big of an editing team do you think you need to put out the consistent amount of, once you understand, let's just say, actually what each platform is needed?
It all depends on how you do it. I mean, you know, where you're at in your careers now, I believe that there's, because I get 5 emails a day from 17-year-olds in the community willing to work for free. If you had so many kids roll up on you on Israel, I have a feeling you could have 3 tomorrow for an internship and pay them minimum wage or put them on or give them experience.
Right.
You know, it all depends on how much it costs. You know, you get an editor from Disney, they're gonna cost you $200,000. That means you have none.
Right.
You get 3 kids at 17 that are good at it.
To build an Orthodox Jewish army of editors.
It's really real talk. Like we've taken it. You know, Dustin knows. Like we used to do it all here now, but I have a global creator editor team all over the world. Costs are different, time zones. We want to be 24/7.
Right.
But the mistake people make is they will buy these. I've never had these lights in my career.
Right.
Which, by the way, again, I do not want to demonize it because I think it's fucking epic. But to me, it's secondary to getting people to know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And you're making the discrepancy between the distribution and the engagement, meaning we're looking at it as like distribution will give us the opportunity to get engagement, rather than the actual content that we're putting out is going to be what is engaging by Taylor making it.
You're one TikTok that's right away from everything changing.